Hello, everyone. It's me, Kirsten, and this is the It's Giving Mystical podcast. And this is your podcast for the week ahead, the week of November 7th. It's my birthday weekend, in case you were wondering. So happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to all the Scorpios out there. I know so many amazing Scorpio women and men, and just wishing them all the props they deserve. We get such a bad rap as Scorpios. People like to get us all dragged into the darkness and the suspicion and the sex of it all. And that's great and a wonderful place to play. But it's not all we are. We're also deeply interested in humanity and deeply interested in the emotional life of the world. And so I hope that they all get some props this Scorpio season on the fact that the transition is the thing when you're talking about life. So I'm going to give you the message for this week. The message for this week from the cards is Onward. The Knight of Wands is with us, but the Death card was also with us, and the Six of Swords was also with us. So we are in movement. You are making progress. We are headed into the new place, whatever that looks like for you. And there's something about this energy that came from the week before, that hermit, that moment, that pause of, let me just catch my breath. Let me just catch my breath. Let me face what comes with courage. Let me face what is offered to me, even if I'm not sure, trusting that I'm in a new place, on new terrain, trying to explore a new way of being. And so I'm going to get confronted. So I'm going to have moments where I feel unsure. What do I lean on? What do I tap into when my knowing fails me, or my brain fails me, or the story I'm telling myself about who I am fails me? And so I hope that kind of dropped in. And now there's something about this energy that feels, again, I keep hearing this word vivifying. My mom would be so pleased. But this sense of like stronger, clearer. And right now, this sense of, I know what the march is. I know what the marching orders are. I know what needs to happen next. Definitely a moment of transition and transformation, as is November always. But there's something about this fire, this clarity of purpose that has locked in, and a sense of hope, I would say, a sense of hope that things really are on a cycle, they're on a rotation, and we get through the difficult moments because there's a light ahead, because we know that there's something more to be experienced, to be understood, to be metabolized or alchemized, or whatever, wherever you are in process, this sense of, oh, right, this is why I've come here. This is why I've done the work. This is why I've set the boundary. This is why I've ended the thing. This is why I've started the thing. There's something about the locking in. It feels very like Mars energy, but this very benevolent Mars energy of, I am not afraid anymore. I love that quote. I have it on my mudroom wall. Let's not be afraid anymore. Like never again, like never, ever, ever. You hear me? There's nothing to be afraid of. And while that can sound like hyperbole, there is something about remembering that in your system. One of the things that the shamans speak of is to walk with no fear of death, which again can sound a little bit like a metaphor, but there is something about this sense of, when you're done, you're done. And I know that sounds kind of fatalistic, but it's true. And until then, there is nothing to fear. Until then, it is all an experience of living. It's all an experience of learning, of curiosity, of this beautiful earth. Like it really is a miraculous thing to incarnate here, to experience the weight, the density, the sensuality of a human experience. It's so unique. And I would probably imagine that it's pretty freaking unique that you chose to come right now. Like you could have come another time. You could have come a time where the challenges were different. You came at this time. You wanted to experience this now. And I believe that. Like I believe you didn't come here by accident. You don't come here without choice. You have free will. That's one of the universal laws. So you chose to come here and experience this. Why? What did you want to do again? What was the point again? What was the purpose again? There's something about that is reinvigorated, relit up in you. And you see clearly, like last week, it felt like you couldn't see the path. So it's like, I just got next footfall, like one more step. I'm just going to keep one foot. You ever been on a hike, like a miserable hike, and you're not at camp and all you want to do is be done? And so you literally get to this point where you're like, I'm just going to one foot in front of the other. And I know if I keep putting one foot in front of the other, I will arrive. It might take me a hot minute, but I will arrive. that felt a little bit like the energy of these past couple weeks. And this feels different. This feels like I'm a horse. I had a good night's sleep. I've been watered. I've got some good snacks in the bag, and I am clear about what road I'm on now. So I think there's something really interesting about that and lovely, actually, because again, like life is always going to be challenging. It's never going to be without its materiality, without its limitations. So much of what we're enjoying in this lifetime is the limitation, is the edge, is to come to the edge. And I have been doing, I know I've said this before, but I'm doing a lot of dream work and I still am. But one of the major metaphors for me in my dreams is this union and separation, this like coming together and then separating, and the pain and confusion of the separation. And part of what I've been working with on a mythic level, on a dream level, is really appreciating the separation as much as I appreciate the union, because one does not exist without the other. The only reason separation causes us such ache, such sensation in our body, is because the union created the same, and they're polarities, right? They're opposites. And so we feel this ache of separation, this desire for union, because we know how good it feels to be in union. And then the only reason union feels as good as it does is because we've understood the ache, we've understood the absence. And if you think about this from a spiritual energetic standpoint, the union, the oneness, the coming home, I believe, and in my experience I've seen and felt, is the place. Like when we talk about source energy or divine energy, we're talking about this place where all ideas of separation fall away and we're home. And then we come here, and this is such an experience of separation. And so this ache that we have for union, this ache we have for home, is such a big ache. It's such a big feeling because it's the thing. It's like the thing that we came from. It's the thing we'll return to. And so there's something interesting about this idea of appreciating the separation while you're living it, knowing that it's going to make the union so much sweeter. It makes the relief so much sweeter. And then that relief is so sweet because you know there's going to be this pull apart again. It's like lovely dance we're doing all the time where we're coming together and we're pulling apart. And so much of your heart relaxes when you realize that that's just part of the experience and it's not something you've done wrong, and it's not something to rage against or fight against. It's something to maybe relax into, maybe surrender into. What would that be like? What kind of faith would that require? I was speaking with a friend and he was talking about this idea of wanting something and his will, and he called it arrogance. And I was like, that's not quite the right term, because the will, where does the will come from? The desire, where does it come from? It comes from wanting it so badly. There's nothing wrong with that. What you create through the force of your will, through the force of trying to harness your desire, is such a beautiful thing. There's nothing wrong with the size of that ache and the size of that desire, and the ability to garner your will to move towards it is such a beautiful thing, but it's only half the thing, right? The other half of the thing is the faith that you're not given something so deep and strong and wide without reason. Like the universe doesn't set you up for failure. It doesn't set you up by being like, I'm going to make you want this thing so badly and there's going to be no reason for it. The journey towards the wanting, the relaxing into the wanting, the understanding like that the journey is the thing, that is so much of the work we're here to do. So Knight of Wands is always a card of, romance, excitement, feeling like alive and awake and flirting with life, that kind of vibe, or a spark of desire coming up. But it feels bigger than that to me this week. It feels less like a moment or a person that you're meeting, or someone that's kind of, maybe it's someone that you'll meet who kind of romances you or wakes you up or turns you on or just lights something up in you. But it feels like a bigger thing. It feels like the universe lighting something up in you, and then you knowing with clarity what you want to go after. And there's something about that feels kind of like a relief. It feels like a relief. Like maybe you've been kind of looking for that clarification, that direction for a while, that external marker for a while. And something about this week, the Knight of Wands, is like, I got you, baby. I got you. Hop on your horse, get a good night's sleep, and let's hit the road and find some fun. So yeah, that's the Knight of Wands. He's always playful energy, often again is about communication, often again is about connecting with other people. And all of that's here, but it also feels just like knowing which road to walk, which path to take, and feeling prepared for it. And something about that feels, yeah, like this idea of onward. Let's go, baby. Onward. Here we go. Let's get on the ride and see what happens. So may that be your experience this week. May you feel fortified. May you feel lit up. May you feel the universe colluding with you to make whatever's meant to happen next happen. May you find yourself in the new adventure, the new chapter, the new journey, and may you feel prepared for it. Okay. I'll talk to you later.